If you can believe it, it's Friday, 3 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, and here is an opportunity for us to be together. Yes, this is Career Happy Hour. Every Friday, we get together, even before a 3 day holiday weekend, to have a conversation, a dialogue about things that matter for us, not just now, but into the future. Part of finding great opportunities faster is to be future focused. And sometimes it's hard to do. I recognize, at least in myself, that I'm often focused on how I'm performing and how I did in the past, and am I doing well or not doing well, and those are certainly valuable conversations. Career Happy Hour, I think, is an opportunity for all of us to get together and think a little more um, strategically about our future and what does that look like. And today's topic is no exception, because I think I'm really interested in finishing what I started. And what does that mean for you? Finish what you started. Sometimes I think I'm not unique this way. We get in a position where we start something and we never finish it. Sound familiar? I have many projects in, both personally and occasionally professionally, or even in my private business, that I start, but I don't really finish. So if you're joining, please let me know where you're joining from. And if you have any questions, please put those in the comments or the chat. That's a great way for us to communicate, collaborate, is by you providing me content or information or things that I can respond to. We also have an opportunity here for you to come on live and get hands-on coaching. Now, last few weeks, we've been able to do that. We have had one person last week come on live. You can go back and look at the archived video on my LinkedIn profile or on YouTube. Either way is just fine by me. And it was an opportunity for this person to come on, get some unique perspectives, and maybe walk away with something valuable. And not only that, they got some exposure, meaning whoever was watching that live saw her presentation, and whoever watches the replay also sees that same presentation. So that's something to consider. We are broadcasting, by the way, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn all at the same time. And I have my mobile device connected to Instagram. Hi, Instagram. So that the folks on Instagram don't feel left out. And so the idea here is we have an opportunity to ask questions, get some insights or perspectives that maybe we didn't have before. And so if you've heard from different people on different topics, or you have a contribution to make, please, by all means, put that in the comments or the chat, and we will do our best to respond. And so that said, there is live coaching available. What I will do is I will actually grab, there's a special link for each one of these, and I will put that in the chat. Join me live for coaching right now. Okay, and let me put that on LinkedIn too, because the funny thing about LinkedIn, for whatever reason, and I can't tell you why, they don't connect with Restream that way, and so I will actually put it in the LinkedIn platform so that you can have the same link. What you would have to do on LinkedIn is you would have to copy and paste that link into your browser so that you can get access to me. I'll bring you live into the back end of Restream, and we'll have a conversation, hands-on, helping you with whatever challenging career questions that you might have. So what I was thinking about today was really in relation to finishing the year strong and having an idea of what the future looks like, so that we can all have productive dialogues, productive conversations. So if you have questions on this topic or contributions you think you might want to make, then by all means, go ahead and make those contributions. So my thoughts were twofold, really, is spending a little time thinking about the future in terms of our career or our trajectory or what we're trying to accomplish. And the other thing is finishing what we started, meaning you may have started something at the beginning of this year with passion and verve and a lot of energy, and now not so much. You thought you'd be much farther along than you actually are, and you think, okay, it's just not going to happen. And I disagree. In fact, I would point you to a book that I read recently called The 12-Week Year. And in the 12-week year, I think we actually started the year with that. I mean, me too, right? I started the year with best of intention. I had all these thoughts, these ideas, these aspirations, and the year didn't go exactly how I planned, but the goal that I had actually was realized in a way that I didn't anticipate. And so, one thing I'd like to make clear in these sessions, of course, is that the views that I hold here are my own. They're not of any company that I'm affiliated with. And so just know that that's how I approach this. So that said, I think about the thing that I wanted to accomplish this year in terms of my own personal coaching business. And so I made some pretty ambitious goals to the first 12 weeks of the year, hit some targets. And I can tell you, I hit maybe 1 out of 6 targets. I did not execute well at all. And I really didn't take it seriously. I have to be honest. And that led to results that I didn't anticipate um, in terms of my personal business. So now, when we come to a situation like today, and I'm looking at the fourth quarter, guess what? That's another 12-week year. So I could look at the fourth quarter, October, November, December, as 12 weeks where I can maybe reapproach this concept or this idea and see what I can get done um, in the 12 weeks that close out the year. So if that's you, then maybe pick up this book. I don't know if I have it laying around here, but I'm sure it's around here somewhere. It's in my bookcase, but maybe we walk through that together and we put together our own little 12-week year here on Career Happy Hour to finish out the year strong. So the idea here would be, if I want to get a promotion in 2023, what do I need to do in the fourth quarter of 2022 to make that a reality? Now, I'm talking in terms of a calendar year. So certainly companies have a fiscal year. So what I'm suggesting is we're just looking at October, November, December to see how much we could get done to advance ourselves professionally. Now, that could be inside your organization. Guess what? A lot of people take vacation. A lot of people are not available. And so planning that now is actually a really good idea. So people are back to school, or at least in the process. Most states now, I think, are back to school or just about to be. And so a lot of parents are going to be busy with those sorts of things until their kids get to school. But the nice thing is, because their kids are in school, they likely have daytime available most of the time to network or have conversations or to connect with individuals like ourselves. And this is a great time to start scheduling that. And so in my life, in my career, in my professional life, I guess you could say, there's some things that I would like to accomplish. And so I'm looking at the fourth quarter as a way to accomplish some of these goals that I have. And executing that is critically important. So when I started thinking about that, a lot of people go into the holidays thinking the year is over, I'm focused on 2023, and that's a huge mistake, because in a lot of ways, the holidays, if you do the math, just look at the calendar, the holidays are what? Let's say 3 days around Christmas, 3 days around New Year's, that's 6 days. The 2 days or 3 days around Thanksgiving, that's 9 days. So let's just give 2 weeks. 14 days out of 90 days are actual maybe holidays where people are unavailable. 2 weeks out of 90 days. And so what does that mean? That means there's plenty of time to meet with people. And even if they aren't in the office, they might be available to meet outside the office on their holiday time vacation off. And I find that really helpful, because out of the office means they have a distance away from the thing that might be preventing them from having a dialogue with you in the first place. And so the reason I'm advocating this, that you maybe double down on your networking, and we did the same thing last year, is that a lot of people are more available. Their kids are back to school. The holidays are coming. They're taking time off. They're generally speaking more accessible and more willing to connect. I don't know the reason behind that, but it just is. That's been my experience. And not that we're looking for a home run. We're just looking for a base hit. We're just looking to get on base with these individuals. And those who seek, those who look, find. And so if you're seeking during fourth quarter, guess what? You find opportunities you may not have been seeing if you weren't looking. And believe me, most people aren't looking, recognizing that the fourth quarter is 14 days out of those 90 days are going to be dedicated to holidays. So there's two whole weeks out of 3 months that's actual holidays. Let's be very generous there. Outside of weekends and whatnot, right? So okay, so there's 12 weeks times. I'm not good at math. Times 5, is that 60 working days? If I'm getting that right, 20 working days a month times 3 is 60 working days, and 14 of those working days still leaves us 46 working days to meet with people, or at least have an opportunity to meet with people. So if I could meet with one person a day, kind of like the old doctor analogy, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. If I could just meet one person a day as part of my networking process, that's 46 people. Think about that. And if 46 people introduce you to one person of value or an opportunity, tangible, wasn't it worth it? Wasn't it worth it? I think it was worth it. Absolutely. And so, I mean, it's so funny because we went in the family, we have a gal that cuts our hair, and she's been cutting our hair since I was, well, at least my hair, my wife and I have been married 20 years. So it's been a lot longer than that she's been cutting my hair since high school. And so she mentioned to me last night, she'd been cutting hair for 40 years. And I said, wow, 40 years. She goes, yeah, I'm now working 3 days a week. She works, and believe me, she works those 3 days. Those 3 days a week, she works hard. Now, what does that mean? That means over the course of her career in hairstyling, she has a clientele. And so when we had our haircuts done last night, she said to us, you need to book your next appointments. She said that plural. And I said, well, what do you mean? It's September. She says, everybody I know is booking all the way through the end of the year. And so what does that mean? That means that she's being proactive and saying, hey, you as a valued client, I want to have your scheduled appointments all the way through December. And so we booked October, we booked November, we booked December. We have all of those figured out because she has times that she's not going to be available. It's the holidays, right? And she wants to make sure that we're serviced, which I appreciate. And so I started thinking about that October, November, December, we're doing that in September. Why couldn't we be that proactive with our careers, with our networking, with our outreach to people we haven't talked to in a while, our reconnection? We just, I unfortunately wasn't able to make it, but we did have my high school reunion, I think, happened just this last week. So, or 2 weeks ago. Anyway, just recently had high school reunion. So I was unable to attend, and just based on things that were going on, there was a conflict, right? So there wasn't an opportunity for me to do that, but I start, getting nostalgic, and I start thinking about, wow, there's some people from high school that were at this thing that I haven't seen in a while, that I really appreciated their friendship. I should probably reconnect with them, see how they're doing. And so now, even though we're mostly doing our networking on LinkedIn, guess what? A lot of that content, a lot of that interaction happens on Facebook. And not that I'm, engrossed in either of those social networks all day long anymore. I can say that there are values to every social network, and we should find out where our people are. Where are our people? And we should hang out there, and that sort of thing. So, and by the way, if you find value in these Friday sessions, would you please share it with at least one person? You can share it out to your networks. Every social media network I know of has a little share button down below. So just sharing it out to some, you don't have to do it publicly. You could share it in a private message. So, if you don't want it to be public, I understand why. So just copy that link and maybe put it in an email or a private message to somebody in your network. And I would really appreciate that. And so thinking about the fourth quarter and some of these things that I've shared with you, see if you can't schedule in some individuals that would allow you to see the value of connecting when you believe nobody wants to be connected. And I would disagree. I would think that there's more people available to meet than you would imagine, and more people will say yes than say no. Um, that's just been my experience. So if they don't say yes, don't feel that that's wrong. And if you need help, certainly my support is available to you. So you would just click the link in the description to fill out an application to come coaching with me. And I've been talking to a lot of people that just are flat not satisfied with what they're doing right now, and there's lots of reasons for that. And so if you're in that situation where you're not satisfied with what you currently have, then just click the application. We can have a quick conversation and see if working together makes sense. Because it might be that you just have a couple of things you need to work through. You need to regain some confidence, or you need to establish your brand. And so, for those who don't know me, I am a teacher of self-education, and I help professionals communicate value to find great opportunities faster, whether you're working or not. Now, that's through a pragmatic process of branding, planning, and effective networking. So those three ingredients have served everybody I've coached really well. Now, not everybody needs all three ingredients. Some people have two out of the three. They just need one of the three. So if that's you, and you feel like you can do the networking, and you got a plan, you just need help with a brand, great. We can help you with that. Good to see you, Terry, as always, showing up to the scene here in the basement lounge. Good to have you. I don't know if you have any perspectives on fourth quarter finishing, or advanced strategic planning, and what do those time windows look like in organizations, and even for yourself, and what might be happening as a result of, I just think pragmatically, it's probably because of all the years I sold real estate, that I saw these patterns. And the patterns were, hey, people in my industry, or in that industry, the real estate industry, they just stop working in the fourth quarter because they believe, for whatever reason, that nobody is buying or selling real estate. And the opposite is true. There are people still buying and selling real estate. There just aren't any realtors working. And so for those realtors that did work during the fourth quarter, they got the business. And so some of the best quarters I ever had were in the fourth quarter, negotiating, home offers on Thanksgiving and that sort of thing wasn't uncommon. So this is just kind of, I suppose this is kind of an extension of the discussion we had last week. But I'm thinking now a little bit more about, how do we finish the year strong? How do we stay engaged and motivated? How do we reflect, maybe take a pause and see what the first three quarters presented us this year, do an after action review, a retrospective, how you want to look at it, and just look at that on paper, or in quiet solitude, if you want to call it that, and really decide for yourself, how did this year go, and how do you want it to finish? And so finishing what you started, meaning you have to look at what you've already started, and how have you progressed, and what does that look like? And so some of this, I guess maybe is consider goal setting, right? You could set some new goals for the fourth quarter if that's you. You could say, wow, I didn't finish these goals and they're no longer valid for me. Then certainly scratch those off the list. But maybe there are some things that you want to accomplish in the fourth quarter, or even this year, that you would still like to try, that you still have this interest in engaging that way. So, and I don't see any questions here in the chat. So what we might do is just tap out early, and I might wish you guys a great weekend. And if you have any topics that you would like us to cover in a future episode of Career Happy Hour, please just put those in the comments, even if it's on the rebroadcast. And I'd be happy to dive deep on any topic that you might have interest. And so I don't really have any other contributions here, and there's no other questions in the chat. So perhaps we call it a weekend, and we'll see you next Friday for Career Happy Hour. Take care, everybody.